Gotta get a better angle than this. This sucks. Not a long one. I gotta take a break. I'm having a coffee. Whatever. Lots going on today. It's a Saturday. How you doing? Just waiting for the notifications to go out, as it's an impromptu live stream, as always. I got out the windows now, man. There we go. Change this up. Just seeing this. Yeah, whatever. We'll deal with it. This is the professional channel. It's just the way we roll. Those who tuning in, salute. It's always coffee o'clock at the TC Boggs channel. Just a couple of things, because it's damn funny, and God, I love calling out funny shit. I don't know if you saw the other day, but apparently Justice Ketanji Brown claims that mere fact of being black makes you disabled. Even though there's 2 Supreme Court justices, she happens to be one, but evidently being black makes you retarded. Who knew? I didn't know that. Of course, you know, I can't give you the black experience. I mean, she's a black woman. But then again, this is also the same justice that is a black woman, and she can't tell you what a woman is. So maybe she is functionally retarded. Maybe Ketanji Brown needs to wear a crash helmet, because even though she is a woman, she can't tell you what one is. So, Nikki, which is pretty damn amazing if you ask me. I mean, I can tell you what a definition of a woman is, but not being a woman myself, it's just odd, right? It's just like, tell me what a woman. I'm not a biologist. What kind of bullshit is that? Oh, right on. Well, hello, Nikki from Texas. And I'm not making that up. I mean, you can go look it up yourself. She flat out said that being black makes you automatically disabled. I never knew that was the case. Cario. Or is it California to Rio? Either way, salute. And it's also funny because you got the No Kings thing popping off right now. These, you have to understand that we're dealing with stupid people. And stupid people do stupid people things. The majority of the people out there don't even know why they're out there. They're just marching around because they're bored. And quite frankly, the guys are going out there because they're chasing after the liberal chicks and they're trying to get laid for the weekend. That's it. They don't give a shit what's going on. There's not a king issue going on. If anybody was dealing with a king issue, it was the last administration, because they were going after their political opponents. Like your predecessor in the office of the presidency, and you're raiding his home over some bullshit archival technicalities. Even though every other president, including the one that sent the FBI while he was vice president and a senator, had classified documents at his garage parked next to his Corvette. So it's like, it's stupid. If anybody was a violation or threatening a dictatorship, it would be the Democrats. You're an India girl. All right. Oh, that's pretty easy. Kobe Sierras, right? Sierras? Sierras? I'm probably mispronouncing it. I apologize. But there you are. Hillary saved this country. How do you figure that? Are you in India with Nikki? I don't know. She didn't do a jack squattery over here. All right, well, I'll hold you up to your bargain, but the like and subscribe. No, but it's just right on. Well, welcome to the club. Like I said, this is a short one, guys. I still need to get the truck washed. I'm just taking a break. All right, but it's a beautiful day here. All right, just give you an idea. All right. A little bit. Thought I'd share for you those of you in India. But anyway, yeah, it's crazy stuff going on right now. The people marching around bitching about no kings have no idea what the hell they're talking about. They just don't. Well, you too, Kobe. Unless you're talking about the Nikki. Either one. No, but seriously, it's you have thousands of people out there marching around up and down the streets, and they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. It's crazy. Wingard. Oh, you're doing the Harry Potter thing, okay. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. That always cracks me up in the movie. Oh, I get it. Normally I try to do these earlier, but it's just it's a target of opportunity, right? I have to do it while I got the free time because, as many of you, I'm a working person out here, and I've been busy. But I appreciate you popping in. Please Cam May India. I lost something there in the translation there, Nikki. No, but it's crazy, guys. I gotta roll that up. That one side of the window's too loud. I'm sorry. You're probably hearing. There we go. That probably helped a little bit. No, but it's just you got people marching up and down the streets. They're complaining about something. Oh, look, man. There's plenty of people are not Americans in the audience here, right? In the chat now, and going to be in the replay. And I don't have a problem with foreigners. Many Americans don't have a problem with foreigners. That's not what this is about. What happened is that the Democrats have been allowing people to subvert the immigration process so they can be overrepresented in the census. If you're not familiar with American law, every 10 years we have a census. And then the law states that everybody in that district is counted, right? And however much your population increases or decreases determines how many representatives that state receives in Congress. And the Democrats are massively overrepresented in Congress right now because of all the illegal immigrants. You know, and I'm not. It's not necessarily their fault for wanting to come here because they perceive they can have a better life here in the United States. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. That's their circumstance, and that's fine. The problem lies in the politicians and also the businesses allowing this to happen, because the Democrats want the bolstered census and potential votes because our system is rife with voter fraud, but also the businesses want the cheap illegal labor, which is also subverting our labor laws and it is depressing wages here, and that's a real problem, And that would piss anybody off in whatever country which would they reside. If you have a bunch of people coming in from the outside that aren't supposed to be there, and they're all of a sudden they're taking away jobs or suppressing the wages in your industry, it's going to piss you off. And that's been happening for a long time here in the United States. And it's finally came around to where we get a president that's actually going to do something about it. And actually enforcing the rule of law is the opposite of being the king. Biden was more acting as a monarch and a dictator by not enforcing the laws. He is constitutionally mandated to protect our borders, and he didn't do so. He was in dereliction of duty. He did it on purpose. Not only did he not patrol the borders, but he also funded NGOs with federal money to facilitate the migrant caravans going north and allowed all these people into the interior. And that is illegal. Biden should be serving time in Leavenworth right now, federal time, straight up. And Trump should go after him, whether he's doing, undergoing prostate cancer treatment or not, because Biden went after him. Biden allowed the FBI to go raid him You realize we were almost at a constitutional crisis? What do you think's going to happen? Now, technically, Trump wasn't at Mar-a-Lago at the time, but that's not to say that he wouldn't have shown up that day. So what's going to happen when you got a former president with Secret Service protecting the Secret Service detail, and all of a sudden they're being jumped by the FBI? You're potentially going to have federal agents shooting at each other because of an archival technicality. How crazy is that? That's what Biden did. I'm sorry, Nikki. What's going on? Are you and Kobe hooking up? Oh, check it out. Oh, you're from South Africa. Oh, right on. Yeah, I talked to a guy from South Africa, actually, and he's in a Discord channel that I like to frequent. He's my token South African. Putting rampant tariffs without there is justification. We just had good talks with Prime Minister Modi, and shortly after those talks, he's out there purchasing Russian oil, even though it's been heavily sanctioned. See, I got no problem with India other than right now, India doesn't really have allies. Your government likes to ride the fence. Right? You're part of BRICS, but you're constantly in a violent fight with China. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. Why you can be tied to China economically, but you're constantly lobbing ordnance over the Himalayas at each other over contested borders. Makes no sense. You say you want to be America's friend, but then you're going to buy sanctioned oil on the black market because you're getting a good deal on it. But the problem is, doing that is facilitating the war between Russia and Ukraine, and people are actually dying from those oil purchases. It's a problem. It's a problem. India needs to pick a side. The world is turning into a bilateral system again. You're going to have to either choose the West or the East. And that's just what it comes down to. Which philosophy do you want your government to pursue, and who do you more closely align with as a people? The more liberty-minded the West, that's a bit more tolerant and sometimes too tolerant, to be honest, or the totalitarian, authoritarian East, where they do impose order, but you're also dealing with police states and, concentration camps. I'm looking at the Uyghur Muslims who are being actively harvested for their organs and sold in the black market. So either you believe in civil rights or you don't. That's kind of the world that we're turning into. To me, it's fairly easy. But the problem is, we got issues of our own in the West, right? Each side has got their pros and cons, right? Europe right now is a basket case because they are turning more authoritarian. They don't have a concept of free speech. So it's becoming a real clusterfuck over there. And they're becoming more Soviet-like than they are America-like. And that's a problem, in my estimation, anyway. Ha! I see what you did there, Archive. You ever stream with Jenna Tall? And I never heard of her. I'm libertarian because its red and blue teams are a complete joke. Well, I used to be a libertarian, but the libertarians are a complete joke. At least the Libertarian Party is. I'm actually a civic nationalist now because when I was hanging out with the libertarians, their main all they were concerned with was getting high and allying with the anarcho-capitalists who will triple over your dead body to grab the last $5 in your hand. Be damned what it does to society, and it's stupid. Anarchy is stupid in general. Anarcho-capitalists aren't really any better than the anarcho-communists, which happens to compromise Antifa. That's why you got the Boogaloo Boys out there, and they ally with Antifa because they're anarchists at heart, and they're all retarded. Anarchy is stupid. It's a temporary situation, and it never ends well, and you should not want that. Jenna Talls is streaming with me now live. Well, Jenna, I don't know who you are, but if you happen to follow upon my channel, welcome. I hope you're cool. Sometimes, yeah, with my son. Though I know they're kind of scandal-ridden right now, so it's kind of a problem. I'm not too pleased with with that aspect, but when he was younger, especially. Now he's more like into Fortnite and some other games. Project Zomboid. We've been playing a lot of Project Zomboid, but every once in a while we like to, we'll pop in the Roblox and see what new games they have going on. Yep. Sorry, no Igles. Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Is he perfect? No, but he's definitely the best that we got. And I'm looking forward to the future for the fight between J.D. Vance and Rubio, and possibly DeSantis, because obviously Trump can't run for a third term, even though he likes to troll the fuck out of people. Pardon my French. He likes to troll people, but he can't run for a third term. So, but it pisses off the Democrats, and so that's why he doesn't. Just like he likes to put sombreros and mustaches on them with the memes, because it's funny and it pisses them off. Bacon Bro 100. I'm not going to remember that. I mean, if you want to email me, tcbox75@gmail.com, and that'll be a reminder. But like I said, it's been a minute since I've been on there, but I'll look for you. Just email me. And if you can't remember it, then go to my About page, and I should have my email on there still. He does. He's got a great sense of humor, and it's fantastic. It's nice to see. Because he's not a traditional politician, right? He's a blue collar ish businessman, and I know he grew up rich. Don't get me, but he has a blue collar mentality as far as working with the people goes, and that's why he's so popular. He doesn't take any bullshit. He'll drop F-bombs. He'll call people out like it is. I don't know. Maybe it's just the old boomer New York mentality. I don't know, but I'm digging it. It's nice to see some authenticity in our politicians for a change. Instead of them pretending to like each other, he'll just go out there and say, you're a friggin' asshole. And he'll do it right to their face. And he'll meme them into oblivion because it's funny. And to do it for no other reason than just to piss them off. No, I've never met him. I'm not saying that either. Do you have a vid I can comment my username on? Oh, I have several recorded videos. And, by the way, if you are going to go peruse my recorded videos, if you would do me the solid, Uh, like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. But there's also a feature called Hype. If you can hit, it's free, doesn't cost you nothing. If you can hit the Hype button on one of my recorded videos, I'd be very grateful. It just helps get the message out. And, you know, you'll help me grow and attain my goal of one day becoming independently wealthy, and I can do this for a living, and I won't have to drive this truck anymore. And you can help make that dream a reality. But seriously, though, the Hype button, especially for small channels like mine, it means a lot, and I would appreciate it. It is a nice truck. I mean, I don't have to stroke the check for it, but it is a nice truck. It's a 24. It's a very nice ride, and I make a lot of money driving it. I do. But I'd rather be at home on my laptop doing reaction videos and talking to you fine people on a regular, and I can't do that until, you know, the channel grows. So there you go. Help a brother out. Is law school worth it? Yeah, that's right. Megabucks Boggs. Help me turn myself into Megabucks Boggs. That's right. Hello, Barry. I mean, I would think so. I mean, if you're into that, if you got the smarts for it, I mean, you can't be well, apparently you can be a moron and still be a lawyer. Unfortunately, that is true. It did not used to be the case, but apparently you can be it could just complete a complete window-licking idiot and still be a lawyer. With that being said, you'll make more money than me as a blue-collar truck driver. And it's also a pipeline to become a politician. There's a lot of politicians who are ex-lawyers. So if that's your jam, why not? Go for it. Or you could be like, you know, let's Better Call Saul if you want to be an ambulance chaser. There's a lot of things you could do with the doctorate in law. Well, I appreciate that, Ibby. Thank you. Can I have a tour? I mean, there's not much to see. I just got my bed, I got my TV, and my Xbox. You know, it's just, imagine a little studio apartment. I wasn't expecting company. I don't know. Don't even have the bed made yet. You know, this is a mid-roof. If you had like a full, they call it a full condo, you know, you see the tall ones, and then you got the second bunk. I don't have the second bunk in mine. I got the shelves on the top. I got full of my clothes and my oatmeal and other household stuff. And then I got a little closet over here where I got my clothes hung up. I mean, it's just a little studio apartment. I'm actually pretty comfortable. I went out and got a drift mattress. No, they're not paying me. I just went out. I was at a large truck stop in Joplin, Missouri. And they have a showroom floor on there with mattresses for, you know, specifically for trucks. And I bought one, and I'm loving it. Absolutely love it. Can any trucks do driverless? They're heading that way. They're heading that way. That's why I tell people they need to specialize. But yeah, the robots are coming, and I see them up and down the road. Now, the ones I see, they force drivers back into them for various reasons. But that's the direction they're trying to head. I'm thinking or meaning to say guys instead of gays, because gay means a whole other thing here, Nikki. Yeah, I think that was just a. Nikki said she's a girl, so I don't think she meant gays. I think she meant guys. It happens. Typos happen, guys. Looks like you're living the dream. I do have a Mrs. Boggs, but no, she does not ride the. You can't ride the truck with me because of what I haul. I haul hazmat, and you can't have riders. It's not like doing dry van. I'm specialized, which is why I make more. Just being real, right? I'm not bumping docks and hauling frosted flakes. I'm hauling dangerous stuff, and they pay a little bit better for it. But it also has restrictions like not having passengers or pets. So this ain't gonna be like a BJ in the bear truck where you got like a chimpanzees over here hanging out, and I got a bee in the truck. You probably see the little bastard zipping around. Hold on. Come on, Mr. B, get out of here. Goodbye. Big Nasty. What's happening, Big Nasty? BJ. It's an old show from the late 70s, early 80s. BJ and the Bear. It was about a truck driver that was driving around with a chimpanzee named Bear. Hence the name BJ and the Bear. It was a thing, guys. The 80s were weird. Go look it up. We also had other shows like Alf, and Riptide. It was a better era. I'll just be honest. With the slop you got going on right now, the 80s were great. They were weird, but great. I blame the cocaine. I typed my username on the vid name, laying it quite flat. Oh, right on. Do some drivers use stimulants to stay awake on long drives? They used to. They used to have what was called mini fins back in the day, and it was over the counter. And even before that, they would have toothpicks soaked in meth and or amphetamines in general, and they would do that. But I don't. I don't. I get proper amount of rest, and I don't have to drive like that to make a good living, right? So if you're with a company that requires you to do that, they're not going to be in business for very long because that was outlaw trucking back in the day, and that's heavily frowned upon. You know, now there are some outfits that try to take advantage of that, like the Russian companies out of Chicago, but those guys are going out of business, and they can't happen too soon. So, Mega Bucks Boggs, that's right. Thank God they don't use that. No, I do not import drugs. I am very guys. I know you're new to me, but I am not a. I am a big believer in sobriety. I'm not a big drinker. I don't do drugs. I think you should live a sober life. Uh, I don't need to alter my reality to have a good time. I'm just saying. You know, some people might call me a buzzkill or a square. I don't give a shit. I've seen what rampant drug and alcohol use does to people over, being that I'm 50. It ain't good, and don't do it. When that Dare program was out in the '80s saying don't do drugs, and they had the commercials. Some of them hit powerful, man. Like remember you may or may not remember. They had a commercial back in the day where a guy had a skillet on the stove and he cracked the egg and said, "This is your brain." And he's like, "This is your brain on drugs," and he cracks the egg in the pan, and it's cooking the egg. And he was like, "Any questions?" Man, I was dealing with people with drug use in my family at the time, and it hit hard, hard. So yeah, I stayed the hell away from that bullshit. Especially nowadays, man, with all the fentanyl, everything can be cut with fentanyl, and it just takes micrograms, and you're dead. You think you're buying a bag of weed? You smoke that shit, and you're dead. Because some asshole sprinkled some too much fentanyl in there as a joke or just to poison you. And that could be anything. Anything. That's why these cartels are getting nuked out there in the ocean right now. Because we're tired of the bullshit. Hundreds of thousands of Americans are dying. Our youth are dying because they thought they were taking not a hard drug, but it's been laced with fentanyl and they're croaking. And you can't have that. I am spiritual, but I'm not religious. How about that? You remind me of Linkin Park. I don't remember the band, but I mean, I remember some of the songs. That was my generation, Gen X. Boring Boggs. That's fine. Some people do that. Do you want to play Fortnite with me? Shooter McGarza. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, when my son wants to play, I usually play, and we play duos. Sometimes we win. He plays on the computer. I play on the Xbox, so I kind of hold him back because the reaction time with the mouse and the keyboard's quicker than with the controller. Plus, I'm old. So, I think we're winning sometimes and we get sideswiped and ganked, and I'm like, oh, God, I'm sorry, son. I got us killed again. I couldn't hit the guy because I'm sitting there trying to shoot them, and these guys are just jumping up and down, and they got better aims than me, and like they can hit me while they're jumping. I can't hit them, and I wind up dying, and he dies, and we're dead. And I don't like build mode. I don't like build mode. I like to play the no build mode. Build mode just frankly pisses me off. I don't like it. It's just too much. It's too much. For me, anyway. He's okay with it. He's down with it because that's just what he's used to. I don't like it. No, you... Acanthus YouTube? What do you mean? Oh no, my phone is at 10%. Well, plug it in, Kobe. I love God. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm agnostic, guys. I'm agnostic. I mean, obviously, I grew up in a Christian country. I grew up Christian, but I'm spiritual. I believe there's something out there, but I'm not a big believer in any of the gods they present to me. Because quite frankly, if you look at it dispassionately, the Abrahamic God, which covers the gods of the Jews, the Christians, and the Islamists, the Abrahamic God, as it's written, is an evil deity. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but it is a Gnostic view of what it is, because the Gnostics believe that the Abrahamic God is called the demiurge. And it's a completely different take on the Abrahamic God. Go look it up yourself. I'm not going to have time to explain it to you guys, but you can go look it up yourself. It will blow your mind. Comment my account, Kobe. Okay. Dixon Mayus. Congratulations on beating the Big C, man. Congratulations. And I mean that. I've known too many people with cancer. And if you're able to beat it, you're awesome. Let's see. Do you think your trust is well made? If you had a large budget, what changes would you like to make? Yeah, I truck. What changes would I make if I was... Are you asking what I would do if I was independently wealthy? Like they were saying, like George was saying, it would be mega bucks Boggs. What would I do? Honestly, I don't know. I'm too focused on what I'm doing. And, I mean, it's nice to have a flight of fancy of what I would do with a bunch of money. I'd work on my body more. Right? I'd have more time for the gym. Right now, I'm trying to get to the gym at least one time a week. I'd like to do have time to do 3 or 4 times a week. Build a better body. I would like to have a hard body at some point in my life. That's a goal. So that would be nice to have the time to be able to do that. I'm getting better. All right. If you saw me 2 years ago, you may not recognize me, right? So, but just to have that on my bucket list, to be able to have abs, even being as old as I am, would be pretty cool. Is it going to happen or not? I don't know. But being independently wealthy, yeah, I think that'd be attainable. What else? Maybe start a business. Spend more time with my father while he's still around on the planet. He just turned, he's almost 80. Be nice to have some more time with the old man. Uh, I travel for a living, but I don't really get the vacation. So actually going to some of the spots I've been to and actually to be able to take the time to sightsee and enjoy it, that'd be nice. Yeah. Okay, Kobe. Joe Cheney. Does that mean something in a foreign language? I don't know. But Joe, if you're out there, this one's for you. How about that? Now be sure to hit the hype button. Can you play 11 from Khalid, please? I will sub. I don't know what that is. Is that a Roblox game? That's fine, Cub. I'm about to hit the road anyway. This was not going to be a long one. Uh, it's. I'm trying to find more time, guys. And I try to do it early because I know for whatever reason my algorithm goes out to a lot of foreign countries on the other side of the planet. So I try to get, if I want to talk politics or something, I try to do it early because a lot of you guys are on the other side of the planet and it's like not 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm trying to take that into consideration, but it's tough because I get up early to go to work. It is what it is. Bye, Colby. Are men or women better truck drivers? Contentious question, though. Just your perspective. I don't really know that many female truck drivers, to be honest. Especially in my industry. I mean, there's no reason why they couldn't be. Um, these damn bees keep coming in the truck. It's crazy. I'm getting swarmed here. I keep having to roll the window down. There's no reason why a woman can't be a good truck driver. The problem is that women have other concerns on the road because it is a male dominated industry. And I have talked to some female truck drivers, and there's sometimes safety concerns depending on where they're parking at for the night. Just having to park for the night, getting up to the store to go take a shower could be a challenge for them because there's guys out here that have been on the road for too long and they see a woman and they don't know how to act and they wind up stalking them in the parking lot. It's a real problem. And now that's something I haven't had to deal with because I'm a bigger guy and I'm a guy. But it's a real problem for women out here. So I think that detracts a lot of the ladies from becoming truck drivers, unfortunately. But there's nothing that I'm doing that they couldn't do. And as long as they pay attention to the road and doing what they're supposed to, there's no reason why they couldn't make a good living doing what I'm doing. Just straight up. Comment my account. Yeah, no one's stalking me, right? You're not going to go after the old white guy going across the parking lot. Plus, I scowl a lot, too. All right? It's all good. I get you saying because truck driving is a man's job, even though women can't do it, and you're right about what you say about women being concerned about. Yeah, I mean, and that's coming from just this lady I was talking to. All right, and she was a driver. Obviously, we were at a truck stop. Just one of those things that happens at truck stops. You hit the diner. They got little restaurants in there, some of them, and you have a diner, and you're sitting there talking with other people around you, and people just want. You're stuck in the truck by yourself most of the time, so they'll sit at the diner. And it's kind of a free-for-all for people wanting to talk, to socialize, to be somewhat normal, you right? It's hard, man. You get institutionalized out here. I've been doing this 21 years. You have to be comfortable being alone a lot, right? So that makes you a little strange sometimes. It makes you want to do things like put yourself out there on YouTube and talk to strangers. What is your ethnicity background? Caucasian. Watching from Rajo. Well, where is Rajo? I, if that's anywhere near the Philippines, I talked to a guy. He's married to a Filipina, and he said they had a bitchin' earthquake that just hit out there, and I hope they're all right. They're trying to get a whole family out there, but the phone lines and electricity are down, and it's a little difficult when she's in Mississippi and her family's all the way in the Philippines. A woman who said another woman came into her cab and then she realized that wasn't a man and the woman turned around and left because she thought she was going to get lucky. Well, you asked for me for my ethnicity. A nationality would be from a country, right? A nationality would be to say I'm Polish or I'm Czech or I'm British, right? That's nationality. Ethnicity would be Caucasian or black or whatever, right? That would be ethnicity. And nationality is where you're from. Uh, I don't know. I'm guessing I'm a mix between I'm a mutt from Europe when it comes down to it. My ancestry is a conglomeration of mutts from Europe that turned into me. Yay. Yeah. And then trucking you've seen over the years, was there something that made your job a lot easier? Yeah, technology, obviously, GPS. When I started, I actually had that they were teaching classes in truck driving school how to read a map, like an atlas, and you had to learn what the little symbols were. You had to map out your route, and then you had to verify your route wasn't going to have low bridge issues, right? And all of that was in the back of the atlas and in the glossary, and you just yeah, that's how we had to do it. Now you got GPS, but some people take it as gospel and not realize it's just a tool, and they wind up getting themselves in a problem. So it's a double-edged sword. But I would say, yeah, technology as far as like the internet keeps you connected. It keeps you from going stir crazy out here. Um, a lot of people don't like the paper, like the ELDs. We have electronic logs now. It's the same hours of service rules we always run, but it just makes it easier to manage and keep track of. But a lot of guys don't like it because they can't cheat their logs anymore. But that was always the case, right? You were never supposed to cheat the logs, but so there are some good things. Are there a lot lizards than when I would say yes, there are less. Why patrol the lots when you can just go on the internet? All right. People search out these lizards on the internet so they don't have to walk the parking lots anymore. They're on the internet. Oh, yep. Yeah, they just broaden their horizons, not just truckers. They're not just knocking on doors. And I guess depending on where you're at, but you don't want to fool around with that, man. You just got this sweaty woman. Hey, it's not worth it, guys. And you don't know if you're the last truck on the row, right? So you don't know how many other sweaty, nasty truckers ran through her before she got to your door. She hasn't had a chance to clean up yet, so you don't know if you're getting sloppy 23rds. You're like, be a little rough. Just saying. Is there a lot of infidelity in trucking industry with men who are married because they do get? I guess. Maybe. But that could be any industry. You could be out in the oil fields. I'm sure there's a lot of infidelity for the guys out working in the oil fields, right? The women to men ratio out in West Texas is completely out of whack. So I'm sure the lizard business is booming out there. It's no different than you see stories from like the Wild West, right? All the cat houses and the brothels. They just made it illegal though. But anytime you got like an influx of a bunch of guys, yeah, they're gonna eventually they're out there busting their ass to make a lot of money. They're gonna want to spend their money on something, and they want to get laid every once in a while. So. It's like being prison gay, but in a truck. All right, Tyrannus. Go get some lizard. What's my energy drink of choice? Well, that's easy. That's coffee. Coffee, absolutely. From our travels and trucking, would you say most people are good or bad? Are you just talking about truck drivers in general, or society at large? Because that's kind of a loaded question. Because there's a lot of degenerates out here, man. I live my life by a certain code of ethics. I told you I'm a square, but I believe in things like honor and sobriety, keeping your word, trying to give a good first impression. You know, but I also believe in other things like matching energy. If you're respectful to me, I'm going to be respectful right back. If you're an asshole to me, I'm going to give it back. You know, that's just how I am. Um, that may not, in your mind's eye, that may not make me a good person because I don't believe in turning the other cheek. You take a swing at me, I'm going to try to hit you twice. I'm going to hit you twice as hard on the return swing, so you never try to do that again. That's just me. Does that make me a good person? Or is that indifferent? I don't know. But I do believe in a code of honor. And honestly, a lot of people out here don't measure up. I'm just being perfectly legitimate. A lot of people out here don't measure up to my standards. That may make me an asshole, but it's just how I view it. There are some. There are some. And they are good people. They don't have to and they don't have to agree with me either for me to consider them a good person. Can you look me in the eye when you're speaking, right? Can I see the truthfulness in your face? Are you full of shit? Are you out here grifting on people, you know, purposely giving bad information so you can make a buck off their suffering? You see a lot of that on YouTube, man. I used to call these assholes out all the time. It would drive me. That was the entire point of me making this channel, as a matter of fact. Years ago, I was calling out these grifting assholes. I think a lot of people are too focused on materialism. They're focusing on what's the actual important things in life, which is family, friends, work ethic, you know, loyalty, honesty, honor. Those things that I consider making a good person. Focusing on money alone just makes you do some horrible things, and then you have to justify it to yourself so you can keep going at it, you know. Anyway, I don't know if that answered your question or not, but that's how I see it. You're from Russia. Oh, okay, cool. Where's the most scariest place you've ever slept in your cab? If you have slept in your oh, I sleep in my truck all the time. Uh, East St. Louis is pretty damn scary. Uh, that person mentioned West Memphis, Arkansas, where all the truck stops are at. That's pretty damn scary. Basically, anywhere you're kind of off by yourself, all right, but it's kind of open. It can be kind of bonkers sometimes. And sometimes you'll hear that on your door, and I just have to lay there and pretend that I'm still asleep and they didn't wake me up because I don't know who's out that window, and I don't really care to know because it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I was dead asleep. All right. There are a lot of dishonest, unethical people out here, and you do have to keep your head on a swivel. And with that being said, in my career, since I keep to myself primarily, I don't go looking for problems in the parking lot. So I've had pretty good luck of not having to deal with bullshit. I try to every day. Are you scared about being replaced by autonomous drivers? What's the pressure? Yeah, I mean, it is going to be industry changing, and that's why I preach to people getting in the industry to specialize. Currently, the robots cannot haul hazmat. Will that always be the case? I don't know. But in my line of work, it would be very expensive to try to replace me with a robot because I do my loading and offloading, and I also do tanker and it's hazmat. So all that for a robot to do, and my customers aren't like regular customers going out to like a warehouse or something. So it's that's my saving grace right now. If I were not in my particular niche section of the industry, then yes, I would be worried because if your bread and butter is just going from one major warehouse to the next, like an Amazon or a Walmart, those are going to be replaced by robots. If you're an LTL or less than truckload, that's what that stands for. The guys working at night, it's called shuttling, which basically means they go to a halfway point with another driver, come in their direction. You swap trailers and they go back to their home terminals. That's going to be replaced by robots because the robots won't have to swap trailers. They'll just go directly to the terminal, and they don't have hours of service. The robots can just keep going. So a lot of the low-hanging fruit, easy shit is going to go away, unfortunately. But that's just the way it's going. Hello. Oh, from Kenya. I think you're my first viewer from Kenya that I'm aware of. Welcome. You go hang out. I usually hang out myself. I'll talk to friends and family in the truck or watching Netflix or whatever because I got a nice 32-inch TV back here and whatever, right? Engineering web, the Pi network, good mind Pi. Okay. Well, we've gotten completely off track of talking about the No Kings rally. I guess that's not really. You guys rather hear about trucking, huh? That's funny. I don't mind. It's just completely off topic. But I do appreciate you guys hitting the thumbs up for me. And once again, for the other people, if you would please take the time to go to one of my recorded videos and hit the hype button, I'd appreciate it because it would really help little channels like mine, and it's free. My typical diet, I mean, I'll eat protein bars. You can't really see because of the sun. Protein bars. If I need something with more carbs in it, I'll have peanut butter crackers. I had an artisanal sandwich today. I have protein enhanced oatmeal I start my day off with, right? There's a Kodiak. Yeah, right now they either have banana nut or berries and cream, but it's 20 grams of protein per packet. And I eat 2 of those in the morning. I'll put that in my cup. And I'll put a little bit of French vanilla creamer, sugar-free, and fill the rest up with water. And I'll let that soak overnight in the fridge. And I'll have that in the morning because it'll be nice and moist, and then it's sweet, but it's still sugar-free. But I start the day off. It's about 700 calories after I add the creamer in. Even though it's no sugar, it still has about 10 calories per teaspoon, or tablespoon, excuse me. So it's probably close to 700 calories when it's all said and done. But I start off with a cup of oatmeal, and it's 40 grams of protein. That's how I start my day. And I had a surgery, so I can't have a whole lot more than that at one sitting. So I'm snacking throughout the day, these protein bars, peanut butter crackers, and I start the oatmeal in the morning, and then at night, if I'm still hungry, I'll have like a healthy choice um, meal, like a nuke in the microwave, like a chicken broccoli alfredo, and it's like 180 calories. So that's kind of what I eat. When I came in, you were talking about trucks. I didn't know. Yeah, it's fine. It just the topic just you'll find out if you hang around long enough, man. That I kind of free flow, right? I'll come in with the topic. If it's not popping for whatever reason, I'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, and we do this. We have a dialogue, and I think that keeps it personable. I think a lot of you guys enjoy it, or you have been, and it keeps the conversation flowing. Drive safely and green from Germany. I like how you deal with the road rage. Isn't it annoying with all the horrible drivers? No, dude, yeah, you have no idea. I'll rage behind the wheel, man, but it's better just to yell by yourself in the truck than take it out on somebody. Just get it out of yourself. You know, if you guys scream or hit the steering wheel, whatever, just back off a little bit, do your yelling, and then just get down the road. But people will piss you off, ain't no doubt. No, we get treated horribly. I think that's worldwide. Though I think on the planet we're probably higher paid than anywhere else, because I always thought like the EU, the truck drivers would get paid a lot, but I would watch YouTube videos and these EU drivers are only getting paid like 2,500 euros a month. I mean, I can make 3K a week as a company guy out here, and I do it. Now every week, I try to make at least $2,000 a week. That's my goal, right? That's my nut. But I've hit 3K a week here plenty, and that's just one week as a company guy. And that's what a European truck driver is making in a whole month, because a euro is not much more than than a dollar. So it's crazy. I don't know how they do it, and justify being on the road too. I'm like, I don't know how they do it. And then I'll see videos from like China. And those poor bastards are out there on the side of the road sleeping under their truck because they can't afford to idle their truck. And I guess freight slowed down because of the trade war going on. So those guys are suffering right now. And I don't like to see that happen. I'd rather us all get along. We're all making good money. But just the governments can't get along. And it's unfortunate. I have my own house. Obviously, I got a mortgage, but yeah, I'm a homeowner. And then uh, I'm home a lot more. I used to be on the road a lot more, but I'm getting home more often now. But it's a grind sometimes, man. It's a grind. But I like what I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it for so long. But all right, I got to go, guys. But I appreciate you being here. I like these little chat sessions. That's what I usually like to do on a Saturday. Saturdays is kind of like a free for all, right? If I can get going in the middle of the week, usually it's earlier in the morning, especially for you guys overseas. So you know it's not in the middle of the night for you. But I usually stick to topics then about what's going on. Usually it's politics, but whatever catches my interest, I thought would be interesting for you guys. But Saturdays or just the weekend in general is kind of a free flow. All right. Yep. Glad you were here, Tyrannus, as always. You look like... Well, because I got the sun in my face, man. What do you want? I got the sun right in my eyes. I'm like... Yeah, lower income Eastern Europe, though, they don't have to deal with healthcare costs, plus you pay to retirement, you pay through tax. Yeah, I mean... It's good. There's pros and cons, but yeah, usually, but it's like $2,500 a month. Just from what I saw. I mean, maybe that was just their situation, but it seemed to be because they were talking to a guy from Italy. There was a guy from Romania. there was just guys from all over, right? And they were talking about what they were making, but whatever. All right, you guys take care. Go to record a video. Hit the hype button, please. It means a lot. It gets the word out, and it's free. If you would do me the solid, and I will do this again. Hopefully, there'll be more things to talk about political wise. I mean, the government shut down, so I know that doesn't mean a whole lot to you guys overseas, and we'll see if they'll lose their mind tonight at these No King rallies. So Democrats have a tendency to burn their cities down to the ground because they're idiots. So that would be something to talk about. I expect that to happen, and I'm sure there's other crazy shit that'll be going on. But that will be for another live feed. You guys take care. TC out.